Hey everybody, I am Brianna Lentz, and today we are going to be crocheting a super beginner friendly project, the 20-minute half double crochet washcloth. This is a great beginner project, so let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the chain, how to put it on your hook, how to do the half double crochet, so that way you can successfully make your first beginner project that's not a single crochet. I remember being a beginner and being like, I'm so ready to be beyond the single crochet, which is a very useful stitch, especially in Amigurumi. However, the half double crochet is my personal favorite, and I like beginner friendly projects that you can do that are also useful. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the simple and easy beginner crochet washcloth, dishcloth. You can use it to bathe yourself, you can use it to scrub the dishes, or you could just use it as a reusable cloth for your kitchen. I personally use a lot of vinegar and water and like something that smells good, and I reuse reusable cloths all the time. Do I think that you still need to do a deep sanitization every now and again? Yes. Do I think that vinegar does its job? Yes. But that is a tangent. So this is a great project for a beginner, for somebody who is looking to sell things at a market this coming spring and summer. And if you have not done the half double crochet, you will have this mastered by the time you make this washcloth. And this is also a great, you can make a set of these and you can easily make this throughout the year and then have them as gifts for Christmas. So what you will need is you will need my free pattern that I will have linked down below. It will be at briannalentz.com as a free download at my website. Again, that post will be linked down below. It's a free download and it's a printable, so that way you don't have to just like copy and paste and then whatever. You can have it downloaded and you're good to go. Secondly, you will need some type of yarn. I am using the Hobby Lobby I Love This yarn. Next, you will need your crochet hook. I am using a size H 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. I love these clover hooks. These are my favorite. Scissors, tapestry for the very end. I'm using one of the medium-sized tapestry needles because I'm using DK to worsted weight yarn. This is perfect. And what is optional really is a ruler. I made this pattern so that we would measure approximately 6 inches by 6 inches square. So let's go ahead and get started. So what you need to know to be able to make this is you need to have an understanding of how to chain, how to do the half double crochet, and how to finish your work. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain the amount of chains that I need to get started. It's like I've never done this before. We came from playing outside. So I do this to get my work started, and I always leave about an 8-inch tail, approximately 7 to 8 inches approximately. That's what I like. I'd rather have a little bit extra to cut off than be stuck having done all my work and not be able to weave in my ends. So I'm going to do that one more time. I wrap around 2 fingers. I pretty much just do it like you would the magic loop every time, but I finish it. And that's how I do it. And again, just naturally, I've crocheted for 10 years, so I don't even really have to think. I just kind of do it. And then this is how I hold my working yarn in my left hand for crochet. And I always chain a little bit loose, okay, because I like to have enough to work with. If I do it too tight and then I go in to have to do my work, then my bottom edge will be like this. So give yourself some room to be able to work into your chains later. And to keep track, I always do it in multiples of 4. That's just easy for me because I have young kids and I've learned that it helps keep me on track. So I'll see you once I have all my chains. I have all of my chains made loose, and I am going to now turn my work over. As much as possible, I always work in the back of my chains. If this is not something that you've done before, you typically would go through and you'd put your hook through the 2 V's and you'd call it a day. I only do that when I have to. Otherwise, I always like a clean finish. And so this is the cleanest finish that I can have without having to go back and do stitching around my edging. So I'm going to count 1 bump, 2 bumps, 3 bumps. Do you see how that's 1 V, 2 V, 3 Vs? I'm just going into the 3rd chain. So I'm skipping 2. And I'm going to put my hook underneath in that bump. Yarn over, pull up, oops. Help if I did it correctly. So half double crochet, yarn over, put it through your stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Okay, so I skipped 2 chains and now I'm working into the back and I've just completed my first half double crochet. And I'm going to work this all the way to the end until you get the correct number of stitches notated in my pattern. Okay, and it will begin to look like this. I'll meet you at the end. I am nearing the end of my work. I can see I have 1, 2, 3 bumps. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 3 left to go. And just let yourself loosely crochet these. There is no gauge, there's no tension that you have to have. I just always recommend on projects like this, try to not be too tight. Don't stress out while you're doing your work. Okay, so now I have completed my first row of half double crochet, and I am going to now chain 2, turn my work, give myself some more yarn, wrap the yarn back onto my hands the way that I like to for my tension. And I actually find that I usually take off my wedding ring when I crochet because I will catch it on my ring sometimes. But anyway, this is how I hold my work. And I have chained 2. Now I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to half double crochet into my first stitch. Do not skip that stitch. Do your first stitch there. And that is your first one. And you just continue on, working your way down. I'm about to complete my second row. Now, I want to show you something because if you're an absolute beginner, what I would always recommend is giving yourself a stitch marker in your first stitch on each row, your first and last one. Then you don't have to think, am I stitching the right number of stitches? Then you don't have to count the number of half double crochets you have all the way down the row. However, I am very experienced, and I usually do use stitch markers, but for this project, I'm not. I know by looking at it that I have 1 more right here, because if I didn't stitch in this stitch, then I would be decreasing. Okay, and this bar right here, this is the chain 2 that we had at the very beginning. That's what we have here. In this stitch, we have the chain 2, and then we have our actual first stitch. So if you're an absolute beginner, I would absolutely recommend just popping on a stitch marker and calling it a day. Then you know for sure that you're going to have the right number of stitches. And because it's such a small project, I would highly recommend that you count each stitch before you call your row finished. If you're confident and you just want to have something easy to make and that's what you're here watching for, well then, be my guest to just continue on with how you do. Okay, so we have completed the second row, and again, we just chain 2, turn our work, and immediately do a half double crochet, pull through. Now this stitch right here, if you were going to place a stitch marker, this is when you would put it in. If not, you just continue on, and this is such a fast project. Half double crochet is my absolute favorite stitch in crochet. I love it, I always have. It's just like the perfect muscle motion for me. Like it just, your hands just rock, and it's very soothing, and I just love it. And I love how you get a ribbed effect in your work. Like it's not ribbed, but there is texture, and that's what I really like about it. So I'm going to continue on until I have the correct number of rows to finish to have a 6-inch square. And then I will see you at the end to weave in our ends together. Once you have completed all of your rows, which surprisingly, that only took me 15 minutes. So you are going to cut off your yarn, again, 7 to 8 inches. Make sure you have your tapestry needle ready to go. Now you're going to take that last stitch, pull through, okay? Then you just thread your tapestry needle. And now you've got to do a clean finish on your work. So what I like to do is on the side, I do 1, 2, I'll tuck it in right here. And then I'll go about and do my weaving. And I'm not very scientific about it at all. I just do whatever makes the most sense. So it makes sense to me to go down this way. And I'm not pulling too tight because I don't want to distort that corner. And then I'm going to go down here. Then I'll go this way. So I want to weave in through those fibers. Then I'm going to go back this way, trying to catch a little bit more, so when I cut it, I'm not at risk for anything coming out. And I don't think that's pretty secure. So now take off my tapestry needle, boom, and that tucks right in, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and weave in the other one. Once you have your ends woven in, then you are done. You are ready to go. So I had originally named this the Simple and Easy Beginner Crochet Washcloth, but I am toying with the idea of naming this the 20-minute washcloth because it only took me 20 minutes to make. I love it. And this ball of cotton yarn, actually, I got for 99 cents on clearance at Hobby Lobby. If you haven't seen my haul videos, I'll link those down below. So you might still be able to get clearance cotton yarn at your local Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure. I had somebody comment recently that it's still for super cheap. So if you want to go ahead and go do that, I know that all their yarn is 30% off right now. So again, you could make a ton of these washcloths. Use my phone. You can make a ton of these washcloths out of this. So this is super economical and a great beginner project, and just a great project to make your house a handmade home without breaking the bank. So if you guys enjoyed today's tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the outro. All right, there it is, the 20-minute half double crochet washcloth. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I hope that it was slow enough for you so that way an absolute beginner who's never done the half double crochet or has a familiarity with it is able to do it. I hope that this is a cost-effective project for those who want a handmade home but doesn't want to have to break their wallet doing so. And I gotta tell you, I am actually going to go put these in rotation for my daughter. I chose yellow because that's her favorite color. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you liked this beginner tutorial, comment down below because I want to see from you guys what else you would like to see from me. What other kind of projects would you like? Don't forget to hit that description box down below too for the link to the free pattern, so that way you can just go ahead and follow right along and take this with you. And thank you so much for watching. If you liked today's video, please smash it with a like, because that really does help me out a lot. All your comments help me out a lot, and subscribing, it would be so great. Thank you again for watching, and happy crocheting. Bye!